Hey there, welcome back to another episode video. I don't know how to open this. I've never done direct face to face. I mean, it's not the first face reveal, but it's just a little extra awkward at the moment. So as you would have seen in the title, I'm going to be talking about MS, which is multiple sclerosis, and the May 50K, which is like, we're a bit early for May, but it's better to touch on this a little bit early, I guess, and then that way we can get people aware for what this charity is and what people are actually raising money towards. Now, I'm in my car because this kind of stuff is a little bit awkward to talk about with other ears around, pretty much. So plus I gotta head out and feed my dad's dogs regardless. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my knowledge on MS and how it's affected me, because I have MS and because there is a little bit of fog sort of surrounding what even is MS. And the thing is, it's hard for people to properly describe because it affects everyone slightly different, you know. It's not the same. So the root cause is sort of the same in a sense. There's still very, very little known about it. That's why it's very, very important to try to help advance the research through any donations and all those kind of things. So, all right, I haven't started this. I'm just going, which is pretty poor effort of me because, you know, I suffer from it, and you'd think I'd know a little bit about it all, but it's just from what the doctors have told me, because it is a very recent thing in my life, in the sense, like, 2 years, and in comparison to some people that are born with it, or, you know, have gone like from a young age, or have dealt with it through most of their life. And because of that, I feel like it's a pretty sensitive thing, or insensitive for me to properly talk about it as if I know what's going on. And I just think it's like a little bit unfair towards those who have dealt with it a lot more and gone through a lot more than I have. But at the same time, it is still something that I do suffer from, and I feel like I should talk about it. So in basic terms, I guess it is. I'm terrible at looking at the camera. It's like an autoimmune issue where whatever's meant to be protecting you around your brain, your spinal stem, your cognitive connections, and all those things, they go rogue, and they see what they should be protecting as their enemy, and they start attacking it, and they start breaking it away. And at the time I got diagnosed, I was studying to become an electrician, and the way the doctor described it to me was a very, very easy way for me to understand. And basically he said, we got our insulation around our wires, and this starts chewing away that insulation, which then allows the current to, you know, it goes. Electricity takes the path of least resistance. So like, if you don't have your insulation and there's other conductive material around it, it's just gonna swoosh off whatever way it wants. And it's kind of like that when we have our connections in our brain disrupted and destroyed. We lose those signals and connections to those parts that control certain things. You know, it's you know, some people have their vision affected, other people have so many different things. It's hard. It's like it's a very degenerative thing. Like before I got diagnosed, I always assumed it was mostly physical, or it is, but like not so neurological. I can't speak. Not necessarily with the brain. I always thought it was like a muscular issue where people just started losing. I was very ignorant to what it was, and it wasn't until after I got it that I realized it's not just not being able to use your muscles. It's just, you just physically can't, because the connections aren't there to send signals to do certain things. My diagnosis wasn't really a slow build up. There wasn't any major symptoms or anything leading towards it. I woke up one day, I mean, I was doing work in my electrical studies at the time, and half my face was like paralyzed and it was all droopy, and I was like, what's going on here? It was like, did I have a stroke in my sleep or what? And I'm like, whatever, go to school, go to work, do my thing. It'll wear off. Maybe I slept funny. Couple days in, it didn't wear off, and it got worse, and my vision got worse, and I started feeling like I was drunk while awake. It's hard to describe. It's my what's it called? I have terrible memory these days. It's like my trunk direction and stability. It was like I was walking while I was drunk. Even my vision, I couldn't focus. It was very hard, and I shouldn't have been driving at that time because it's very dangerous. But I'm a stubborn person, and I have to go to work, have to go to school, have to get this stuff done. And I leave things to the last minute. I always have. I remember I've even had my skull broken in the past. I've gone full off tangent now, but I had my skull broken in the past, and I left it 2 weeks until I went and got it checked. It wasn't until I had continuous nosebleeds and my teeth felt a little bit wobbly. Even after that time, I'm like, I should see a doctor. And yeah, they're like, yeah, your skull's broken. So yeah, cool. Back to the symptoms, right? And it was starting to get pretty bad, and I was like bumping in the walls. And by the time I actually got tested and driven down to down in the state I live in, Tasmania, Australia, it was like a 4-hour drive to the main hospital that has like all the professionals that are more studied in this area. So by the time I got all the way down there, like it was so sudden. It was like it come so quick. I couldn't walk anymore. I couldn't walk. I could barely see. Like my eyes, I couldn't even look straight though. It wasn't just like my vision was gone. I just couldn't even direct my eyes into a single line of sight. I was just like all over the place. Even my face, I couldn't. I didn't have the strength in my jaw to chew or properly talk. The muscle down here that connects the jaw and all that, it went like super tight. It was like a really, really tough bit of leather. I don't know why. It's like the nerves can somehow affect the way your muscles and everything react. After like my ear started going really sensitive, even just talking at a normal volume would cause me to have like these little micro fits where I just like I couldn't. Sound would just set me off for some reason, and it was a pretty scary thing. I won't lie. My arm, I couldn't use. It was mostly like right side affected. Like walking was obviously all walking, but my arm, I couldn't use my right arm. Like the face paralysis, all on the right side, the ear, the right side. I mean, there's like still a little bit slight difference here, but most of it came back. I've done a lot of really good rehabilitation, and after I had my treatment, which is what all this May 50K is for, the treatment, I had a really fast recovery. Even the doctors said, I was a bit determined. I was not going to be like, I wasn't going at walking pace. I was pushing myself a little bit too hard though in the rehabilitation, and I did suffer a little bit from that physically because I was going too hard, and I learned that it's all a learning process, that whole MS thing. You're constantly learning new boundaries. But yeah, going back to the treatment, if I wasn't able to receive the treatment that I did, I would have, I don't know where I would have been really. Once I recovered, I took up mountain bike riding and so many other things. I got 2 jobs after that, and I was working for a bit. I didn't get to finish my electrical studies. 2 years later, I still haven't had the chance because my treatment yearly comes up around the time of intake, and I have to do 3-month quarantine and this and that. It's thanks to this treatment and the studies and all the money going to it that I've been able to get back to a reasonable, normal life. And like some of the things that scared me the most is when I heard about it, because at one of the places I was working when I was doing my electrical studies before diagnosis, they had a family member there who suffered from multiple sclerosis and actually passed away from it. Now this was many years ago, but it just goes to show, well, not many, I don't know, maybe 20, 30, I don't know the exact timeline, but it just goes to show how different the medicine can make impact in someone's life. They were very well aided, and the medicine advancement just wasn't there to properly support people. And the sad thing is, a lot of people still on these older medicines, they can't actually change over to some of these new ones. There's like a crossing issue. I don't know the details about that, but like, I'm just grateful that there is better medicine now, and there will continue to be better medicine due to the funding they receive by people like you, and anyone willing to donate, really. The treatment I had was a very aggressive treatment. It had a lot of warning signs and potential side effects, and it has been banned in certain countries because it's related to deaths and all these other issues. It's like a type of chemo. Well, it is a chemo, but obviously trying to attack multiple sclerosis. And going back to basic terms, completely wipes your immune system because the MS is the autoimmune issue. What this does, it's like a reset, and it tries to jump everything back into how it should be. It's not always perfect, and like I said, potential for many terrible side effects. I got really lucky with mine. I've had the treatment twice now because you can only do it yearly. Felt like absolute crap afterwards for a long time. That's why we do the 3-month quarantine, because we don't have an immune system anymore, and a simple cold can do us in, basically. But it was kind of like tossing between that, because mine becomes so sudden out of nowhere, and it was so aggressive. You know, it was full brain lesions. It started on one side, but by the time we'd done the second scan, it was full brain coverage all the way down the spinal stem. It was just like, F this guy. Like, we're here to mess you up, boy. So, like, that was kind of like my choice. It was go hard, hit it hard and fast, while it's still very, like, fresh issue for me. So, it was either that or weighing the choices of dealing with, because brain lesions are permanent. They don't heal. Your brain is amazing in the way it can doesn't necessarily repair connections. It can make new ones, new paths to then redirect. It's not always perfect. Like, my hearing, sometimes certain vibrations or frequencies can set me off for like a mini, I don't know what to call them. I just call them fits, because I can't control myself when it's happening. So yeah, it's not perfect, but your brain can recreate these paths. Having this medicine basically puts it in remission to prevent new lesions, hopefully permanently. That's what we all hope for. And then that also gives the brain time to rebuild these connections. Otherwise, it's just like permanent scarring after permanent scarring, and you're just constantly breaking down further, degenerating. I don't know what the word is. I'm not very illiterate. I'm not I'm not a smart person. So that's not like the only form of treatment. Like, there's other options, but obviously that was the most aggressive, but also has the most positive effect in attacking MS. Like I was saying earlier, there is very little known about it and the causes. The main factor from just statistics is that the further away from the equator you are, the higher chance you have it. It's not always like MS doesn't run in my family. I'm the first one to get it. I'm the lucky guy, and so it's not biologically passed down necessarily. That still has a factor. There are people that, there's been twins born with both of them having MS, or, if your parent has it, there's a chance that it is more common in females. So sometimes, like, the first order or second order, I can't remember. The doctor was telling me all this stuff, and I was just like, I'm a bit messed up right now. So vitamin D is like the only properly known connection towards this. So take your vitamin D tablets if you're further away from the equator. And yeah, for now I think I'm gonna go. The dogs have kind of been watching me for a bit. I'm just parked outside my dad's house. So I'm gonna go feed the dogs, and I'm gonna come back and I guess just sort of talk a little bit more about, I want to try to make it a little people more aware on some of the effects, because I feel like I've explained to some people, I've explained to like workplaces, and I sometimes feel like they don't properly understand. Well, I guess how could they? Like, you don't understand something unless it's happening to you. So I want to try to verbalize it as much as I possibly can with my low vocabulary. So yeah, I'm gonna go feed the dogs, and I'll be back.